As
Super
you all know,
frustrating.
BYU lost the game, the undefeated season gone,
Mhm.
and now they're put in a really big predicament where they have to win both games really to go to the Pac-12 championship. So
Big 12. Big 12.
Big 12. Did I say what did I say? Pac-12?
Just yeah,
Big 12,
don't
excuse me. Big 12 championship.
yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's another episode of the No Sauce Podcast with John and Kyle, or Kyle and John, whoever you want to put first, whoever's the coolest. That's who you're going to put first when you talk about this podcast. You know it's true. We appreciate everybody tuning in to our first episode of season 2 last week. We're back here again. It's probably going to be kind of an angry rant-filled podcast tonight that we're recording because there's a lot to talk about. Finally, the luck wasn't on the side of the BYU Cougars, as you all saw late last night. John was at that game. Was it worth freezing your tail off with your daughter?
I don't know, man. I mean, yes, being at the game, spending time with my daughter is always fun, but luckily we dressed pretty warm and we had like like a hooded blanket of sorts from Costco. So our bodies were nice and warm. It was the feet that we had to get up a few times, kind of stand, walk around, heat up the old toes and everything. But whew, man,
Sad
it's
part is you guys
frustrating.
were sitting on the south end zone, right? So the touchdown would have come to you if they would actually scored a touchdown to win the game right there.
Hmm. Yep. In fact, you all I have to go back and watch. I don't recall there being a touchdown scored on the south side at all the whole entire game, both sides. I think everything was the opposite way
Yeah,
to
yeah,
north end
that's
zone.
probably true because Rapati's touchdown was scored in the north end zone.
Hmm.
Both the Kansas touchdowns were scored in the north end zone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you
Super
all know,
frustrating.
BYU lost the game, the undefeated season gone,
Hmm.
and now they're put in a really big predicament where they have to win both games really to go to the Pac-12 championship. So
Big 12. Big 12.
Big 12. Did I say what did I say? Pac-12?
Just yeah,
Big 12,
don't
excuse me. Big 12 championship.
yeah.
Sorry. And they play an Arizona State team that just whooped on Kansas State in Manhattan. So
Yeah, that is a dangerous team right now. Arizona State is. I mean,
yeah, that's gonna be a nationally broadcast game too. I think that's on it's on ESPN, but
three
college the Fox college football kickoff is gonna be down there. Or is it college game day?
um to be honest,
I think
after
it's
the loss
I
last
think
night,
it's it's the Fox noon kickoff.
I don't dude, I'm gonna have to look right now.
That's what I'm looking for right now. It's well they were in Boulder this week. Um it doesn't tell us where it is. I thought it was gonna be
Looks like they're
yeah,
heading to
but we'll
Columbus,
see.
Ohio for week 13. So they got the Buckeyes Indiana Hoosiers game.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, people were
That's
people
right.
were saying it would have been awesome for them to have gone to Arizona State for that game, but when you're not one of the two super conferences, your chances of getting anything remotely like that are slim to none. And no, the big noon kickoff, that's somewhere else as well. So, you know, is what it is. I find it funny though, this week there are five Big 12 games all kicking off right around that 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be a day. It's going to be
Yeah.
a fun-filled day. So,
Well, and the thing is we don't have to wait till 8:15 to see what happens with the Cougars and the Sun Devils either. It's a 1:30 Mountain Time kickoff down there. It's not Sun Devil Stadium anymore, is it? Is it still Sun Devil Stadium?
I dude, you're asking good questions. I think they call it the Mountain America Stadium now. Yeah, it's no longer Sun Devil Stadium.
Yeah, Mountain America Stadium. All right.
Yep.
It's still cool. One of my favorites though, for real. The setup and like the double deck all the way around and they've held
Hmm.
Super Bowls there too a long time ago before they built that
Yeah.
new uh the new Cardinal Stadium. So,
Yep.
yeah. So, we'll see, but
Yep.
Let's start with the first play that kind of, I think, drove both of us nuts. You posted about it on Facebook. I was
Dude,
screaming in my hotel room because I was in Cedar City last night for the Southern Utah basketball games, and I was screaming to just run I was sitting at a sports bar with the Southern Utah coaching staff. We were celebrating one of their staff members' birthdays after the game. We were watching the game, and I saw the pick, and holy cow! Like I was mad because just run the football.
yeah,
So it's first and goal from the 5-yard line with what was it?
40,
What,
40,
50
50
seconds?
cents. Yeah, 50 seconds, something like that.
High ball
Again,
game.
and
BYU,
we
if they score, they go up into the half, and then they get the
and they
ball
get the
back
ball back.
after halftime,
hmm And
and then
it's
this happens.
Kyle, it is frustrating. And first, before you play the clip, like we had just gotten a kickoff and we were driving the field. Like it
Oh,
was
yeah.
10,
They
15
dominated the
yards
line of
here, a
scrimmage.
run here. Like we were doing a lot of good things. Yeah, we moved the ball a lot on, kind of these out passes and stuff. But you get down, you get 5 yards. You've got plenty of time. I think we still had 2 timeouts. There's no rush.
Yep,
If we score quick, then we give them a chance to get the ball back.
yep.
So play the clip.
I'm gonna say this, it's shades of Oklahoma from last year.
Mm,
The only difference is they didn't return it for a touchdown.
yeah.
Here's the clip, everybody, for you to view. It's not pretty, and, let's just say that we're very disappointed in how this played out.
Retzlaff into the end zone, picked off. He went at the wrong guy. The mellow fellow Dotson.
Kyle, rewind it back a little bit.
Dotson snuffs the drop.
And get ready and get ready to pause it. Okay, because right here, watch 17, Keenan Marion, bottom receiver. Watch a couple like a split second into it. You're gonna see this giant hole open up right at the Y, and he is wide open on a quick slant.
Is it Marion or Chase
Yeah, nope.
Roberts?
Keenan Marion, number
Oh, yeah,
17.
right here, you can see
Bottom left. You've got the defender over top, number 4. He's going
I
north.
need to go back and pause that somehow.
Because look, Retzlaff's
Right
eyes, as soon as he
here.
snapped, he's watching that tight end out on that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a quick hitter, but if he waits a second, you can see I don't have a pointer right now, but you can see down in the bottom left-hand corner, there's 3 receivers. You got Chase Roberts, who's number 2, is going in for a slant. And
Yep.
then there's a receiver in between 2 defenders. He's
Number
going
17,
to
Marion.
go behind Chase Roberts on another slant. And you can
And
see
it's
those
wide
2
open.
defenders. One's taking that third receiver, and then the one's taking the swing man. Oh my gosh.
And the worst part is, Retzlaff, as soon as the ball is snapped, that's immediately where he's looking. His eyes are already there. And you can see number 4 cue on that. So he breaks, which is perfect. If he can stare down that top receiver, now you've got the middle of the field opened up. So if you do run this pass play, this is what you're looking at. The problem is BYU has run a similar fade approach on this play multiple times in the red zone, and not once has Retzlaff hit that, from my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. Marion would be wide open because there's a 4th defender out here. You can see him on the goal line right there, right in front of the B.
But he
right
stays
here.
down. He stays down to
so
pick up
far
Lassiter.
out that he wouldn't be able to catch Marion going inside if Marion goes there.
Right. So he's either queuing up on Lassiter, number 5, or number 7, Rapati, down just on the 10 at the very bottom of the screen right now.
Oh my god.
4's up. Marion is wide open.
Yeah.
He's wide open. So there was an angle I saw earlier today, and just watching this, it's like, yeah, he had it the whole time.
Well, and even Chase Roberts might have been open too if he hadn't released the ball yet.
Yeah. Well, and the other problem
guys,
is
this is just and here's what makes both of us mad, okay? It's first and goal from the 5-yard line, and they
45 seconds.
The ball.
45 seconds.
How many
2
timeouts?
timeouts?
They still had 2 timeouts too. And they had been pounding the line of scrimmage the whole way down the field.
Yeah. And again, let me just put it out there. We're not professional coaches.
No.
Okay, but we've seen enough times in sports history. You go down in a situation like this, like my post mentioned, I felt like I was watching the Seahawks Super Bowl when Wilson drops back and throws a pass
Yeah.
with a minute and something left on the clock when you've got Marshawn Lynch behind you that can run the rock. LJ
No,
Martin and
here's-
Rapati had been picking up yardage
Yep.
all game up until this point. Gain 3 yards, gain 2 yards. You've got timeout. You've got 45 seconds. There's plenty of time. What are you doing? Like on that, certainly bad throw by Retzlaff. But what's the play call?
Who are they throwing it to? Why wasn't Keanu Hill or one of the other better receivers in that position right there that might have fought for that ball a little bit more than? I mean, it was underthrown. We can be real about that.
Yeah.
It was not a good thrown ball, but why are you throwing it to that guy when you have Rapati, when you have um, uh, Chase Roberts, when you have Lassiter, when
Lassiter.
you have Marion, all in that formation? Why are you throwing it to that guy? Because he's not going to win that one-on-one situation because KU's
Nope.
DBs are a little bit better than. But either way, man, that's a huge missed opportunity because you don't even get points. Like you didn't even get a chance to get a field goal there before halftime.
Yeah.
So that changes the outlook of the game. And then they go, I believe they went 3 and out on their first drive after halftime. So like the air's taken out.
No. They drove the ball down the field again. And we ended up getting like 4th and 4 or something like that. And we came out ready to go for the first down when we should have just kicked. And then the time wound down, something happened. I think we got a penalty or something like that. And it forced us to call a timeout. And we decided to bring on Farron and kick the field goal. Kyle, we almost tried to go for it on 4th down. If we got stopped, we would have lost 7 points at the end of the half, and we would have lost out on an opportunity, at least 3 coming into the second half.
Yeah.
It's all Roderick. That's all A-Rod's decision up there.
Well, and then this happens, everybody. You saw it. This happens. This is going to make.
Well, okay, hold on. Before we get into, so there was 4 plays throughout the game that 3 of them were bonehead plays. The other was a penalty, which we don't have the clips on, but actually two of them were penalties. One against BYU at the very end of the game, which we all kind of saw, 4th and 5 or 4th and 4 or something like that.
Yep.
And we get the false start, move us back.
Right.
Okay. No, it's 4th and 6. 5-yard penalty took us to 4th and 11. Then we picked up like 8.5, 9 yards. And yeah, so there was that play. The other one was that first interception there at the goal line. The second one or the third one, you'll play the video clip here in a second of that punt, that muffed punt. The other one, which I don't think anybody really paid a ton of attention to, at least in the stadium, was defender. BYU has the ball. Defender jumps off sides.
Yeah.
From every angle that I saw in the stadium, he was clearly in the neutral zone.
Oh yeah.
Ball
Even
is
the
snapped.
announcers did the same thing.
And Retzlaff is like, I got a free play here.
Yep.
And he
there was
throws
no
it.
flag thrown when it happened. Yep.
And I want to say there should have been defensive holding or some defensive pass interference on the play as well. Nothing's called.
Yeah, Kalani was pretty hot at the officials on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like if one of those plays, just one of those plays doesn't happen or it's reversed, BYU wins the game. Because you think about this here.
We're gonna play
7
this.
points.
Yeah,
Go
we're
ahead.
gonna play this clip. This is what told you it wasn't BYU's night. This right here is the epitome of showing that BYU's luck finally ran out
Mhm.
in this 2024 season. It's unreal how this played. And I don't even fault the guy who the ball hit initially because he was just covering his man, trying to block him, whatever. So I don't
Yep.
blame him. I'm more frustrated at the kid that went to jump on the ball that couldn't secure it because he jumped so hard on it.
Yeah. Yeah, he lands
Anyways, we'll
like
let
high on his
the
pads.
viewers and those who are listening you all saw this. So yeah, just know our pain here.
Select few in the country. 4th down and 14 for Kansas. And a quick punt by Jalen Daniels. They're going to try and pin. Oh, it's loose. It's scooped up by Kansas.
That's Robinson.
Error, or is it? Did it hit the Cougar player first? It may have, which means it's a live ball.
I mean, let's go back to it right here.
Yeah, it's going to hit off. It's going to hit off.
Hits off his helmet.
Yep.
By Jalen
right there. You can see the ball bouncing back by the 10. And all number 0 have to do is cover it up.
It's scooped up by Kansas.
Instead, he bounces it off his helmet, shoulder pads, while he goes to try and cover it up. Kansas recovers. They score one play later because the air is out of the building.
Which means it's a live ball.
Yep.
That was just the epitome of the night it was for the Cougars.
Yeah, I think going into that game, Kyle, BYU was what 1, 2, 3, 4-0 in close games. Within a touchdown.
Yep.
And Kansas was 0-5, I think I heard, or 0-6, or 1-5, or something like that.
In those one possession games. Yep.
And yes, certainly, I have hated the shade that BYU has been, thrown for weeks and weeks now.
Right.
Okay. But I mean, I've been saying it since the Kansas State game. Our offense needs to step up. Our defense is what's been keeping us in the game time and time again. Okay. Special teams has made some great plays time and time again.
Yep.
Okay. That last one's unfortunate, right? Like, you dive on that differently. We easily secure the ball. We keep them from scoring 7 points. And it goes back to what I was saying. If one of those 4 plays goes differently, BYU wins that game. Because Kansas doesn't get the ball on the 2 or 3 and just pound it in for a quick touchdown, right? We score a touchdown at the end of the half. If we don't get that penalty late in the game.
Here's an interesting quote from last night's post game. Jay Drew got this. It's from Chase Roberts, BYU receiver. We need to start beating teams by 20 points, 30 points, because that's the kind of offense we have.
Yep.
That's the kind of team we have. We should have won this game. And
100%.
Unfortunately, like I think a lot of us know and a lot of us have seen, sorry, my eyes are like all watery and stuff. I don't know why. It's weird.
It's okay to cry. It's okay.
I'm a little tired. I'm crying because I'm sad that BYU lost, and now I don't think they're going to win at Arizona State either. But that's just personal opinion. So
yeah,
Aaron Roderick's not the kind of aggressive offensive coordinator they can have with this roster. Like you say, with the receivers that they have, with the running backs that they have, with the fact that Retzlaff is pretty good. And the offensive line that they have, you should be scoring 40 or 50 points a game.
Yeah.
Well, and they're not. They play too conservative for whatever. And all it brings me back to is like when Aaron Roderick was at Utah, that's all they did was run the ball, maybe a play action pass here or there. But it's like Chase Roberts should have 5 or 6 receptions every game. Marion should have 5 or 6 receptions every game. Lassiter should have 5 or 6 receptions every game. Like, you should be pummeling. I don't want to say pummeling teams, but the defenses in the Big 12 aren't good. Utah's the best one that you're going to face.
Yeah.
You should be putting up at least 35 to 40 points a game with the offense you have, but he's so lethargic. There's no get up and go. There's no pace. And the sad thing is, John, when we see the pace, when we see the urgency, they're unstoppable. We've seen that in games.
Well, so to go back to that, I mean, I don't know if the whole game was mismanaged, because I remember probably 4 or 5 different plays where either Retzlaff was nowhere even close on a pass, or receivers were running the wrong route. Yep. I think it was early in the game. I think it was on probably the first drive or so. I don't remember who it was, but instead of running a corner route, like 20, 30 yards down the field, he ran a post, and the ball would have been, and he was wide open.
Yeah, he was supposed to just fade to the corner of the end zone,
and that's wide open
through it. And he had his defender beat too. Like it would have been a
Easily.
touchdown.
Yeah.
There was another one, I think it was in the second quarter too, that one of the receivers had beat the KU DB deep, and Jake just overthrew it too.
It was to Lassiter, and he was, yes, like
There
5,
were
6
some
yards
times when there
deep.
were some shots, but like the substitution issue where BYU's
Clock
having to call
management.
timeouts.
Mhm.
I mean, there's just a lot of, and like that, like the end of the game, where they get down there. What is it? They were in the what?
The 6. They were down at the 6-yard line. And all we needed was like, or no, we were at the 9.
I think it wasn't. It wasn't in. It was they had to get to like the 6-yard line for a first down.
Yeah.
But they ran 3 running plays. They
Well,
passed the ball to
so
get down there and ran a
so
few running plays.
so I liked that we were trying to run the ball the first 2 downs.
Sure.
Okay, because again, we're there. Okay,
Run the plays that have
we
been working though. Not a jet sweep at that point in
no,
time to the
but
short
here's
side of
the
the field.
but here's the thing, Kyle. If we're gonna say that, then we got to go back at the end of the second half and say, well, why are we passing? That's what they did to work their way down the field. They had a number of those 10, 15-yard pass plays. Again, end of the game. There's over a minute and a half left. I'm okay with us running on first and second down. Okay, because it had been gaining us some yards here and there, and that time they kind of got stopped. And then third down, Retzlaff gets ready for the snap, and he audibles out of whatever play they called. I don't know that they announced what it was, but then he audibles to an option to the short side.
Yeah.
We don't have time. We don't have room to run there. What are we doing?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's. I think a lot of it is on Aaron Roderick, right? I think there was a number of play calls, especially at the end of the second half. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But
People will say it was good management by making KU take the timeouts. I don't know that I agree with it. I don't care. I need to score. I can't focus on not giving them any time. I have to focus on scoring. And I mean, you run the one run play on first down. Okay, it gets stuffed.
yeah,
Maybe mixing a pass right there instead of doing a jet sweep to the short side of the field where they can defend it even better and see what happens, or get Retzlaff out of the pocket, on a bootleg some way.
he
I
was
don't know.
amazing when he got out of the pocket. He was either finding passes or he was scrambling for anywhere 5 to 15 yards.
Right.
That's what we need.
Yep. So
And
I
we
don't
didn't
know.
have that last night. We had, Kyle, I don't remember how many like screen passes that we just got blown up in the backfield for a
Yep.
loss of 4, 5, 6 yards.
Yeah.
Like, and then we ran that one jet sweep with Keenan Marion 7, 8 times, and it worked 5 or 6. It
Yeah.
was great. But then there was others where we're only gaining 1 or 2 yards. What are we doing?
Well, sometimes, and this is where the creativity has to come in, that run a play action off that, fake that handoff, and look for a tight end or somebody coming back across the formation or down a seam or something where they're not expecting that, because they know that when you line up under center and you see a guy in motion, 99.9% of the time, you're going to hand that off to the jet sweep receiver. And so they're all going to bite on that. And you might have had an easy touchdown. Like, that's where this is where my frustration with Aaron Roderick comes in.
Yeah.
There's very little creativity at key moments on plays that everybody knows on film what you're running. And it's like just a little twist to it can make all the difference in the world in these kind of games too. But I mean, it's just.
Well, I hope they make some adjustments, and I'm expecting them to. I will say this to what you were saying earlier. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
Bar none. However, you look at who Arizona State has played. Their defense isn't good.
Hey, they just smacked Kansas State in the mouth.
I know that. But Kansas State is not that good of a team either. Okay.
You know what?
When Avery Johnson is on and he's running the ball for 70, 80 yards a game and slinging it for 250 to 300, yeah, Kansas State does well. But when he gets shut down, if you can shut down the run against Kansas State, their offense collapses collapses. And that's why they were so successful, because there's only 2 teams that shut them down, or 3 teams that shut them down like that. And BYU was one of them, and Arizona State was the other. But you look at what Arizona's done. Beat Wyoming. Okay, they did have a good win against a marginal SEC opponent in Mississippi State. Only beat them by a touchdown. Then they barely squeak out a win against Texas State. Okay, they lose to Texas Tech. They win a close one against Kansas, giving up 31 points. Okay, they did beat Utah, but Utah with Isaac Wilson. Okay, and it wasn't a, oh man, we just blew them out of the water win. I think this is going to be a very competitive game, and it's going to depend on if BYU makes the adjustments on the offensive side. Defense, we did a pretty good job. Corners gave up a lot of 3rd and 4th down, 1st down. That's got to be cleaned up, right? But overall, BYU's defense did what it needed to win that game. Yeah, we gave up 17 points, but 7 of those were off that botched punt. So 10 points. If BYU's defense can hold a team to 10 points, we should never lose a game. Our offense has to start getting clicking. And if you look at the last 2 games, we have 2 offensive touchdowns. It is BYU's offense that needs to step up. Okay?
Yeah.
I believe in Retzlaff. I think he can get it done. And we've got all the right guys out there. One thing I read a post yesterday before the game about how there's a number of tight ends that were going to be at the game last night as recruits. And there was some talk that they may not want to go to BYU, because if you look at where BYU has slung the ball all season, it hasn't been to tight ends. It's been to wide receivers. I think there's something in the back of my mind that's saying we purposely tried to include some tight ends in the game a little bit more to show those recruits that, hey, we do love our tight ends. And that's why that play call at the end of the second half wasn't to Lassiter, wasn't to Marion, wasn't to Roberts. It was to a big tight end to hopefully get him engaged and prop up the recruits a little bit. There's
I'm not
part
saying
of me that
don't do
believes
that.
that's
I'm
it.
saying if you're going to do that, go to Keanu Hill, who's a better tight end receiving wise. That would at least I don't know. It was so underthrown that we can say anything about that.
I think he just got to the line of scrimmage. He saw one-on-one matchup, no help over top. That's the guy I'm going to. And he snapped the ball, and that's all he looked.
If he would have thrown it back shoulder, it might have been actually caught, because he didn't throw it. He threw it towards the corner. Back shoulder, because the defender was so far out in front of the receiver that if he throws it back shoulder, that's probably easy. Easy touchdown. So it's just a bad throw, but either way, I still don't like the play call. I won't lie.
No, 100%.
It is what it is.
Give the boys the rock, let them run it.
So, you what?
I said, just give it to the boys and let them run it in that situation. Yeah. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Run it, run out the clock. Don't even give the Jayhawks a chance. And that's the other thing kind of baffled me.
Yep.
Is Jayhawks have 3 timeouts still, 30 or 40 seconds left on the clock, and they chose not to run a play. They chose to just take a knee and go into half.
Yep. Oh, crazy stuff. Love college football.
Let's go run the table. Man, if we can run the table, we'll face probably Shedeur and all those guys over at Colorado. It'll be interesting. I kind of hope that they lose this week, because I'm scared for if we were to make it to the Big 12 championship to play Colorado.
I don't think Colorado's losing another game. I really don't. I thought maybe the Utah game could have possibly been it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the Utah was their best chance. You think Utah coming back, upset because of the previous week's loss, and they're just going to come in fired up. But yeah now
they're just so not good this year.
Got we got to cheer for Kansas.
Kansas may be able to pull it off. It just depends on if they are hungover from beating BYU. But I mean, Kansas is playing for their life because they have to win both games down the stretch here to go to a bowl after their rough start. So that'll be interesting to pay attention to. That's a 1:30 kickoff as well on Fox. So both those two very important games are going to be going at the same time.
Yeah. Yep. Go Jayhawks. I'll say it again. Some of the best guys that I interact with on Twitter and stuff are from the Kansas fan base. So it sucks we lost, but a lot of those guys, are upstanding, class acts there, and wish them nothing but the best. Sucks that we lost, but my hope is, and I heard a couple of the players talk about it, that you know what, we lost. We're going to learn from it and get better. 2 games to go prove ourselves.
I wonder how it works though. So let's say that BYU loses to Arizona State, okay?
Yep.
And let's say that BYU let's see. Let's say that Colorado loses to Kansas. So that puts Colorado at 6-2.
BYU
and Iowa State beats Utah this week, right? That puts Iowa State at 6-2, and Arizona State would be at 6-2.
We'd be 6-2.
I know. So Arizona plays Arizona State in the final regular season game. Colorado has who was it? They play Oklahoma State, so that's probably a win for them. So let's say that BYU loses to Arizona State, but BYU wins against Houston. Would it then be Colorado and Arizona State in the Big 12 championship? Or how does the tie? I'm curious. We'll have to look this up for another podcast episode.
Yeah.
To see how that tiebreaker plays out. But BYU still, even if it's a loss to Arizona State, still has hope of getting to the Big 12 championship if other things play into it too. Like, if Colorado were to lose to Kansas, if Iowa State loses to at Utah, and if Arizona State was to lose against Arizona, I think they played down there in Tucson too. Yeah, it's in Tucson.
Yep.
And then BYU beats Houston. BYU needs basically one win, I feel like. If they get the win this weekend at Arizona State, they're in the Big 12 championship. Like, I don't think there's a way. Maybe Iowa State could catch them, but I think that BYU would still be higher ranked if they beat Arizona State this weekend. But I don't know. Well, we'll see. I'll have to look up that tiebreaker. So just win.
Yeah, I hate the hypotheticals. Like, let's BYU just go out and do it. Like, if we beat Arizona State this weekend, it can't be a trap game, right? Like, we've got to stay focused. But I'm sure we go out and just kick the crap out of Houston.
Well, maybe Kansas was that trap game. Maybe that's why they, struggled. And so because you just played Utah, won an emotional game there, and now you know that you got a road trip coming up against a very good Arizona State team that's red hot right now. Maybe this Kansas game was a trap game that they thought. I don't know. It's bad to assume, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
They still have everything in front of them. Let's just put it that way. They still have a shot at getting into the Big 12 championship game. They still have a shot at the playoff. So, but put this one behind you, put it to rest, get focused, and take care of business these next 2 weeks. So,
yeah. Well, and that's what's interesting right now is, again, I know it's the AP poll, so it's not the official college football playoff poll, but BYU at 14 would still make the field.
Yep.
Because right now, since they're leading the conference, they're the top seed, so they would be the 5th conference champion, air quotes, Tuesday night. Assuming they don't rank Colorado
up
above.
there.
And they very well could.
Which I'm
they very well could. But let's assume BYU's at 5, the 5 seed. Or no, they wouldn't. They would probably be the 12th seed because of that. So BYU is the 12th seed. SMU is still on the outside looking in, which sucks because they are a good team, and I hope they play Miami and just thump them. But
Yeah. Well,
dude,
we'll see.
it's interesting, man. It's interesting. I hate that loss, but we will move on. We'll keep being fans.
How'd your
Some of us
fantasy
more than
football team
others.
do today? Did your fantasy football team do today any good?
Dude, oh, it was
That
an
bad, huh?
abysmal week. So the guy I'm playing had what's his name? Saquon Barkley and
Yep.
AJ Brown. So coming out of Thursday night, he already had 50, 60 points.
Right.
Okay. Then my team underperforms. Okay. It happened to be a bye week, and I don't have the strongest of running backs on my team. Alvin
Okay.
Kamara only got 10, almost 11 points. My next running back got 1.8.
Who was your next running back?
Tyjae Spears he's like the number 2 or 3 back for the Titans.
Why would you start the number 2, the backup?
Because I don't have any others, Kyle. The other ones I
What?
had were injured, and I didn't play them. And
Draft
so
better, dude.
I know, but here's my receiving core is outstanding. However, the starters I had in, which should be obvious, Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, I had in,
Okay.
but they only totaled out for like 22 points,
Yeah,
maybe.
Justin Jefferson didn't get a touchdown like he probably should have today from Sam Darnold.
Yep. But then the other 3 options, or 4 options on my bench, all went for 12, 13 plus. Josh Downs, Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, all 15 plus points.
Yeah.
And the worst part,
Jigba had like 11 catches for 110 yards or something like that.
worst
Jeez.
part, Kyle, I was at church. I do this whole thing like where I set my lineup the night before. I set it that morning of. I didn't see anything. I didn't know that George Kittle was going to be a scratch today. I had Taysom Hill sitting on my bench, went for 41.5 points.
Yeah, I had Taysom Hill in one of my leagues too, and he went for, in the way the scoring is in our league, he went for 51.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I wasn't going to change it, but it just sucks when I have Matthew Stafford on my bench who almost gets 30 points and Mahomes who doesn't even get 15. So
Yeah.
I lost. I'll move probably to 3rd or 4th place and tied for 2nd, but because of points and stuff, I'll be 3rd or 4th place. And yeah, I've got the toughest remaining schedule in my league,
Yeah.
which sucks. But
In my big money league, I had Aaron Rodgers, who finally figured it out in the second half, even though the Jets lost. Saquon, you know what he did.
mhm.
I had Njoku from the Browns, and tight ends get like 1.5 points per reception in our
Yeah.
league. So he had a big day. And we can start 2 quarterbacks in our league. And I had Bo Nix, who threw for 4 touchdowns today in the Broncos, like, thumping of the Falcons.
Yeah.
But my bench, I had Javonte Williams, who had a touchdown run. DJ Moore, who had a better game. Zay Flowers got a late touchdown. Then I had Taysom with his 50. I would be almost to 200 points if I would have started Taysom today.
Yeah.
And then I had tonight, in one of my other leagues, I had the Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase combo again, and they went off. Joe Burrow, 35 points because he had 3 touchdowns and like 370 yards or something.
Dude, I played those guys last week, and it was just impossible. Which was funny because saw going around on Facebook. You know, how, like when there's natural disasters, there's an option like you can mark yourself as safe.
Yeah.
And these people are like, "Oh, I'm glad I was able to mark myself safe against Jamar Chase this week." And I was like, "Well, that sucks."
I think it's
And
like the second or third straight game with 2 touchdowns at least
yeah,
for Jamar Chase.
yeah,
So, yeah, I have in this other league, I had Matt Stafford, Saquon, James Cook, who had 2 touchdowns in that win for the Bills tonight or today against the Chiefs, and I actually had the Bills defense against the Chiefs, and they actually did pretty well. They got 2 picks, and
Yep.
so yeah, it's fantasy football is fun. It's
Dude.
hard when you have church during the times that games are going, so you're trying not to check your phone and everything, but
hmm So
yeah.
watching, talking with my oldest today, he's a Chiefs fan, and it started clicking that like the Chiefs this year are kind of like the Cougars. Like let's be honest, the Chiefs have not played all that great. The defense has been good. Offense hasn't been all that great. I mean, they're doing enough to get the win. They
Yeah.
almost lose to the Broncos last week, but get the last second field goal block. And they're just finding little ways like that to win. And that's the Cougars,
I
right? And it
actually
just
I actually text my group message for our fantasy league. This is what I sent to him when I was watching some of that Chiefs Bills game. Outside of some calls, how in the hell are the Chiefs still undefeated with Mahomes playing so bad? Like,
yep.
how are they undefeated? They're not undefeated anymore. Thank you, Josh Allen and the Bills for doing that. But if you remember right, the Bills beat them in the regular season last year, and the Chiefs still won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So we're not counting our eggs before they hatch, or chickens before they hatch. Is that
Yeah,
yeah,
you don't count your chickens before they hatch, yeah.
right? So
You're getting it. You're getting there.
good times.
Yeah. He is the 14th, according to fantasy football, he's the 14th best quarterback going into this week.
Huh.
And he just hasn't been stellar.
Yeah.
Like you look at what he's done each week. I mean, his best game was against New Orleans, 331 yards passing, but no touchdowns, and he had an interception.
Yeah.
Okay. He's averaging at least one interception every game. He has 3 games where he has 2 interceptions. I will say this, the last 4 weeks, he's got what, 9 touchdowns? So not bad,
Yeah.
but he's not doing anything with the ball like he has in the past. He's averaging, I don't know, I'm trying to do the quick math in my head, maybe 15 yards,
Yeah.
15 yards rushing
A
a
lot of
game.
deep stuff. Yep.
Like where's the Patrick Mahomes we know that'll scramble for 15, 20 yards, or 10 yards here, 10 yards there, but get 30 to 40 yards in a game, and then no interceptions, 2 to 3 touchdowns. Where's that guy?
He's
Where's
he's too busy doing State Farm commercials or other stupid commercials and buying, minority ownership in like other soccer teams and
F1 and
or WNBA team or whatever. Yeah, he's just
yeah.
so focused on all that him and Travis Kelce, they're not on the same page, and Travis is
Mm-mm.
so busy with Taylor Swift and trying to keep her happy so she doesn't write a song about him.
Yeah, I
When
mean,
all said and done.
here's the thing with Kelsey. He did start the season off dangerously slow, but then he picked it up.
Yeah.
And
Today he
right
doesn't
now,
feel good.
no, today was horrible. He had 2 catches for 8 yards. Like
Yeah.
but you look at him like right now. He's the fifth best tight end, and I can tell you after I think the third or fourth week he was 17th,
Yeah.
18th. So I mean he's picking it up, but yeah, it's like you need to get rid of the noise. And I think this was another one of those games where they lose and they're going to come back. They have Carolina next week,
Yeah.
Raiders the week after. Those are going to be 2 tune-up games that the Chiefs need, because the following week, week 14, they're back at home against the Chargers, division rival. Right now, they're 3-0 against division opponents. So that's good.
They haven't played the Chargers yet. This will be the first meeting, won't it?
No, they played them back in week 4
Oh, okay.
in San Diego, or in LA, sorry. And so, yeah, so they get them at home after 2 easy weeks against the Panthers and the Raiders. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see the changes and stuff that they make. But man, I know we're probably getting on time. We want to kind of wrap up here soon, but I'll just say this: my lucky streak, I think I talked about a little bit last week, has come to an end. Right, two losses in a row in fantasy football, and the Cougars losing yesterday. But it is still a fun time to be a sports fan. I love baseball season, but when it's May, June, July, and there's nothing else going on, it's not quite as fun.
Yeah.
The pinnacle of sports during that time period is being out coaching the kids, or then like the All-Star game, home run derby contest, the celebrity softball game. Outside of that, it's not that fun and exciting of a time. But
Yeah.
right now, got college football, NFL, all that stuff's going on. You got hockey, which again I'll be back at the Delta Center tomorrow night to watch our Utah Hockey Club, hopefully soon to be Mammoths. It's my vote. But who am I? Take on the Washington Capitals, so it'll be fun. Great win the other night against the Hurricane, who I know those a lot don't follow hockey. The Hurricane were on a streak of scoring at least 4 goals a game, or I think it was 6 or 7 games or something along those lines. They come into Utah, young team, been struggling, and we held them to 1, and we put up 4 of our own. Great time, right? Then we face off against the Golden Knights and lost. But dude, it's fun. I got to take you to a game, man.
It's true, but you never invite me, so
Well, I gotta take
still
care of
waiting
my
for that
kids
invite
first.
to come.
Yeah, well, I'll get you dates and stuff, and we'll go to a game. Maybe we'll like record a little bit while we're there and get Kyle's reaction to seeing a decent team, not the crappy Blackhawks.
Oh my gosh, whatever.
I'm
Whatever.
just messing, man. Just messing. Well, any fun plans for the holiday?
No. I'm actually going to Indianapolis. Well, Indianapolis/West Lafayette this weekend to cover a basketball game. So
Okay.
I'm excited. Just a little quick trip. Fly out late Saturday, be back early Monday, and gonna see some family while I'm there. So excited about
Nice.
that. But we're just hanging out at home, and we're gonna go to my in-laws for Thanksgiving, and we're gonna have my little niece for the week, so my mom can get a break, get her house ready for my grandma to come in town for the holiday, and uh, just the usual. A lot of football, a lot
Nice.
of sports, a lot of food, and you know, good
How you
times.
guys how you guys doing the turkey this year?
Uh, my in-laws are cooking it, so they're just doing it the usual way. My brother-in-law is gonna smoke a ham though, so
Okay.
he's gonna bring that as well. So it'll be good. It'll be really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I know we've got 2 episodes we're gonna try to get done this week. We have to do it Tuesday, Thursday night, because Friday I'm driving out to the Midwest.
Oh, you guys going to Kansas for Thanksgiving?
We will be. We're making a pit stop in Iowa, in Lake Okoboji, Iowa first, and then we'll be heading down to Wichita.
Y- So you're taking I-80. You're not going to go the I-70 route.
No, yeah, we're taking 80 all the way out to my boss's house in Iowa.
Well,
Dropping off one of our dogs that's going to be rehomed there, and then celebrating her birthday, my boss's birthday, and then the next day driving down to Wichita to hang out with the in-laws for a week.
be
So
safe because I-80 can be kind of crazy right now, and hopefully there's no weather.
there's high wind advisories and all that kind of stuff. So we'll monitor that. We're gonna try to drive during the day when hopefully it's a little less hectic and stuff.
Well,
But
while you're there, we're going to put it in the description of this podcast episode, some links to Amazon. Go and shop Black Friday
yeah,
deals, or everybody buys from Amazon. Click on the links. They are affiliate links, so we get a commission off any sales that happen from those, but we appreciate it. And it's great. We're trying to have a little fun, have a little side hustle here with our little No Sauce podcast. They won't all be as depressing as this episode, where we talk about BYU and their stupid play
Dude,
calling at
can
specific.
you imagine? Can you imagine the podcast if BYU not just makes it to the Big 12, but beats Colorado in the Big 12? I
Yeah.
will be up in this camera, ready to go.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
Well,
Travis Hunter,
I would
Shore.
say if BYU makes it to the Big 12 championship, if I wasn't already going to Vegas to play softball, we would be on a plane to, I think it's in Dallas, if I remember right.
It's in Dallas. Yep.
At AT&T Stadium,
Yep.
we would go to that Big 12 championship game for sure. But
Yeah.
I'm going to be watching it probably at a sports book in Vegas that Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. I hope BYU comes out and impresses people the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And just as Chase Roberts mentioned, puts a thump on people, wins these games by 20, 30 points, so that hopefully, regardless of what happens in the Big 12, there's a little bit more respect for BYU's program. Maybe we move up a few more spots so that if we did lose in a championship game, that they take that into consideration and have us, still there. But again, 9-1 on the season, a lot better than what people were expecting. That being said, these are two winnable games for us. We just got to get out of our own way, be smart with the ball, yet at the same time, be who we are. Some of our most explosive plays are those trick plays, things that get everybody up and amped and just happy and excited to be there, including the players. So let's go do it.
Here's my thought on trick plays. Do not run them when you have momentum. You're running your regular offense. Because if it doesn't work, it usually ends up in a sack or a loss of yardage or something.
Interception,
and
something,
takes the momentum completely out of your – just run your offense. Maybe when you get a turnover at midfield or you get a turnover on downs or something, then take your shot with that.
Take your shot immediately. First down, go do something.
Do it.
Yeah.
We don't make the big bucks. We just sit here, armchair head coaches, analyzing everything. We want to see what we can. We want to see the same stuff that we do on College Football 25. BYU do it on the field. So yeah, but
do we got to do that? Maybe later this week. Maybe that's what we'll do.
What's that?
College Football 25. Maybe that'll be our Thursday night thing. Just a quick game. I'll show you how to play the game again, because I know it's been a little while since you and I played. I still don't think I've lost to you yet. So
we only played the one time.
Hey, undefeated against Kyle, everyone.
Oh my gosh!
Undefeated.
1-0,
and it was not even close.
The year that the Oregon team I thought that I had,
it was embarrassing.
I thought I had Marcus Mariota, so I was going to try and run the ball a little bit more, but I couldn't because I didn't have a running quarterback. So I'll probably be Alabama with my running quarterback, Jalen Milroe, and we'll whoop you. So,
dude, I will serve you up. Okay, give me BYU. I will show you that Big 12 can beat the SEC. I don't care.
Oh my gosh!
Okay, give me Oklahoma State. Give me Houston.
You beat BYU. I'll be K-State with Avery Johnson, and I'll have a running quarterback. And
there you go.
Yeah.
No, dude, be Alabama. Let's show the people. Okay,
You don't want none of this.
Okay, I will save this for another time. But my ultimate rant is the SEC Big Ten. If you guys are upset that not all your teams are getting in that you wanted to get in, you did it to yourselves.
Yeah,
100%. When you have 18-team leagues and a lot of people that don't play each other, there's going to be cannibalism.
Yep.
Okay. Georgia certainly 100% before their win yesterday. I thought they're going to be fine. They're going to win their last couple games and they're going to be in. But the teams like LSU that were on the bubble, Tennessee hasn't looked good. Those are the teams that should be out. And ultimately, I know the seeding kind of sucks. It's open to, movement each week and whatnot. But the SEC should not have 5 teams in. The Big Ten should not have 5 teams in. It's my little rant. I'll expound upon it another day.
You're preaching to the
choir.
But
I'll show you. College Football 25 will play. You take whatever team you want, and I'll take BYU. Heck, give me Boise State. We'll run it.
Yeah, I'm, yeah. There's going to be, unless something crazy happens between now and the next 2 weeks, there will probably be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams from the SEC in that college football playoff.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
going to bet
again,
6 teams.
it's all going to be they're going to cannibalize each other. 100%. 100%. I think Indiana loses this week to Ohio State. I think they're pretty secured. I don't see them going too far down the list, you know. But I see some cannibalism in both leagues. So, that's my story. I'm sticking to it, Kyle.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So, anyways, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the No Sauce Podcast, and we'll see you on the next episode.